Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, and you're now locked into the channel where we break down all the latest movies, new game releases, TV shows and comic books. This episode we'll be going to a galaxy far, far away to talk about one of the Mandalorian's most fascinating characters, Cara Dune. Throughout this video I'll be breaking down everything that you need to know about the character, including her backstory and the best fan theory on what could be going on with her. There will be heavy spoilers here, so if you haven't had a chance to watch the first 4 episodes of The Mandalorian and don't want to know what happens, then Macklunkey. That means this is the end for you and start, never mind. With that out of the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this video. Now let's get into our breakdown of Cara Dune. Okay, so Mando and Baby Yoda come across Cara Dune on the planet of Sorgan. Mando notices her, giving him those come to the dark side eyes, and he decides to follow her using Batman's detective vision to track her down. Cara gets the drop on him and shows that she's more than a match for the character. This is a guy who's taken blaster bolts to the head, but one punch from the femme fatale knocks him down faster than the Emperor's approval rating after Order 66. Thanks to the calming mood of Baby Yoda, the two decide that talking it out is the best way to go, and we learn that Cara was a shock trooper that was part of the Rebel Alliance who was tasked with hunting down Imperial warlords after the events of the Battle of Endor. Cara was so dedicated to the cause that she even got a Rebel Alliance symbol tattooed on her face, and though this is a little hard to make out in the episode, in behind the scenes shots and the toys for the series, this is clearly visible. After the destruction of the Death Star 2, bigger is better, the galaxy became slightly destabilized, and this may have helped with the formation of the First Order, which I'll get into in just a bit. When discussing her past, Cara says the following. Saw most of my action mopping up after Endor, mostly ex-Imperial warlords. They wanted it fast and quiet. They'd send us in on the dropships, no support, just us. Then when the imps were gone, the politics started. We were the peacekeepers, protecting delegates, suppressing riots, not what I signed up for. This lets us know that after most of the remnants of the Empire were dead, that the Alliance decided to become more politically organised, and this may have led to negative consequences. Before Disney wiped the slate clean with the expanded universe, the New Republic was constantly built up and torn down all the way through the canon, up until the events of Star Wars Dark Empire, in which it settled down and found stability. Juxtaposing this, we know from The Force Awakens and sequel trilogy, that in the new canon, the Republic wasn't really that effective at all, and this is why the Empire in some form or another has risen once more. It's likely that the best soldiers of the rebellion ended up becoming bored with the way things were going, and due to this they left their positions. Thus, lesser leaders were allowed to rule things their way, and they didn't quite have a grip on what was going on. We know that Luke ended up leaving and cutting himself off from the Force, and though this may have massively been down to Kylo Ren, I definitely think that the Republic could have also been instrumental in this decision. Leia herself is also clearly working outside of the Republic, and this may be due to the fact that she couldn't get on with the bureaucracy that was prevalent within it. With no more Jedi Knights, and the leaders, soldiers, and major parts of the army that made it what it is either ostracized or retired, it's easy to see how people became disenfranchised across the galaxy, and thus the First Order was able to rise once more. We have seen throughout the Star Wars saga that the government twists and changes are some of the big reasons for its collapse, and this is exemplified in the prequel trilogy, in which the Senate falls apart and is taken over by the Sith Lord Darth Sidious due to how easily manipulated and corrupt it is. Either way, Cara saw this fall coming and decided to dive out of the conflict and move to Sorgan, though she still clearly believes that the Empire may be out there and keeps an eye out for bounty hunters at all times. I actually found a lot of similarities between Cara's position and the real-world Nazi hunters that existed after the Second World War. There were a lot of forces, namely Jewish ones, that made it their mission to track down surviving members of the Reich, and though Magneto kinda played up this role in X-Men First Class, there's actually a lot of interesting aspects of our own history that you should definitely check out if you want to see some similarities between Cara and real-world figures. Anyway, after divulging most of her past to the Mandalorian, she insists that they have to leave the planet as she found it first, but it's not long until they are back on each other's paths when Mando hires her to help with the rescue of a fishing village on the planet. This shows that though Cara is out of combat, when it comes to fighting evil, that she still operates as a mercenary from time to time. When scouting outside of the village, Cara and Mando discover the huge track prints of an AT-ST, and they later return to the village, training the population to be ready for their counterattack. After digging a trench, she and Mando sneak into the raiders' base, destroying their favourite tent and leading leading the AT-ST back to the village, which they then destroy. Cara is pretty much the MVP of the battle, rushing the huge lurking machine and using herself as bait to draw it out so that Mando can easily destroy it with a detonator. This forces the remaining Clantunian raiders to flee and the villagers settle, going back to their peaceful way of life. Dune suggested that Mando stay in the village and live out a peaceful life, but he states that the attack will draw a lot of attention, though he decides to leave Baby Yoda there in order for it to have a normal childhood. However, on the outskirts of the settlement, Dune discovers a bounty hunter which he kills before it can assassinate Baby Yoda, and as we know, we must protect Baby Yoda at all costs. This lets us know that bounty hunters will be constantly coming for the two characters no matter what, and it kinda leads us into our fan theory on what could be happening down the line with Cara. Okay, so we know that no matter where Mando and Baby Yoda hide, they will never be safe. It doesn't matter if they're on the metropolis of Coruscant or a backwater planet like Sorgan, the hunters will keep coming for Baby Yoda, like a grandma constantly visiting the toys section in the run up to Christmas, hoping that Disney have finally made the one thing that could make or break their grandchild's holiday this year. Please just get them out in time. This pretty much means that no matter what, Mando and Yoda are going to have to tackle the problem head on and take the fight back to the Empire. Personally, I think that throughout the next couple of episodes that Mando will be building a network of mercenaries that he will eventually use to storm the client and those that have a bounty out on Baby Yoda's head. The synopsis for episode 5 reads, "The Mandalorian helps a rookie bounty hunter who is in over his head." And to me, this definitely adds a lot of weight to the fact that Mando is going to be getting contacts together from people across the galaxy. By the time he's got enough for a WhatsApp group, I can see him storming the headquarters of the client and the guild in order to stop them both once and for all. We know that the Mandalorians are on Team Baby Yoda, and that Cara definitely is too, and though she may have been trying to avoid as many fights as possible due to her retirement, I can just see the mention of an ex-Imperial warlord such as the client being enough to draw her out. We know that lack of targets like this was a big reason for her retirement, so getting rid of one more will definitely be enough to entice her in my opinion. Mando will likely need as much help as he can get as well, as we know that there are a lot of bounty hunters after him and Baby Yoda, including IG-11, who may be a little angry that Mando shot him in the head at the end of the first episode. If this isn't the case, then I can definitely see it being an aesthetic for the show going forward. When promoting his film Knives Out, Rian Johnson accidentally let it slip that he had seen Baby Yoda on set a couple of weeks prior, and though we're all jealous of him getting to meet the little guy face to face, it also highlights that a second season of The Mandalorian is currently in development. The Mandalorian season 1 would have finished filming months and months ago, so the fact that he came face to face with it very recently on set does cement that things are going ahead with its next installment. I guess we will see what happens, but you can definitely count on Mando and Cara's paths crossing again, as even the two characters believe that, so yeah, that's my theory. I have spoken. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on Cara and what you think will happen with the character in the future. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video and think this is the way, then please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you check out my full breakdown of Baby Yoda, which will be linked at the end. We go over everything you need to know about the cutest critter in the galaxy and what could be going on with the Empire's plan for it. We also do weekly breakdowns of The Mandalorian, and we went through the series episode by episode to point out everything you missed, all the Easter eggs, and where the plot could be going in the future. I'll leave that linked at the end, and if you want to come chat to me after the video, then make sure you follow me on Twitter at DefinitionYT, or head over to my Discord server, which will be linked in the description below. We drop videos on there early, so if you want to see stuff before anyone else, then that's the best place to be. It's free to join and we have an awesome community, so hopefully I see you over there very soon. We're also giving away a free copy of the Marvel Phase 3 Part 2 box set on Blu-ray, which contains Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, Captain Marvel and more, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts on Cara Dune in the comment section below. The winner's going to be chosen on the 15th of December, and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are never missing television, so if that's the kind of thing you like, you need to subscribe to Definition. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.